How do you feel about the cancel culture?
Yeah, they found him guilty of shooting her in both her feet.
He shot both her feet?
Yeah.
Are we rolling? I'm so glad we're rolling. I'm just kidding. No, please go adopt if you can't afford it. He goes, say it one more fucking time. Bro, I look at him and I go, dude, he's going to kill me. This is broad daylight. Everybody's watching this guy right now.
Does anyone eat this stuff just on air?
This is the second time we've ever done this.
I enjoy it.
We do an ASMR segment.
Love that. I got some energy drinks.
ASMR segment. You have to crunch into the mic.
Yeah, I have that condition. I think it's called Mencia or whatever, where chewing like triggers me.
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm a Vietnam War vet, and I'll just fucking start snapping nets.
Oh, you don't like people when they chew loud? No, it's a big thing.
My sister's like that.
Guzzling water, it triggers me.
Water?
Yeah, like I was in fucking Vietnam. I go crazy.
Wait.
It's not good.
You know what that
Are we
is?
rolling? I'm so glad we're rolling. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm fixing my mic right now. I am very, very excited. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm recording, because every time I'm really excited. Okay, we are recording. I'm here with Thick Boy, Brendan Schaub, the man who's on every single podcast known to man. He's mastered it like a ninja. He's on stages left and right doing stand-up. He'll also take your girl and beat your ass. This is the best intro I've ever given.
Yeah, I'll take it, dude. I need to come around here more often.
No, please, bro.
Forget therapy. Are you cheaper than $200 an hour?
Dude, I'll pay you $200 an hour.
Yeah, I'm in, dude.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming on, dude. This is my 8th or 7th episode, and I was literally, before you got in here, I was like just going on about how grateful I am, because I get my line of work, I got blessed with doors opening up quicker than I think I deserved. And now I'm on under 10 episodes, and I have people at your status on my podcast, and it's a blessing. So I just wanted to say thank you for being here.
No, of course, man. Yeah, right when they brought your name up, I was like, yeah, you know why? And the reason why everyone fucks with you is because you're a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a good person. So,
I appreciate that.
Assholes don't get very far.
Well, I mean, I can't be an asshole, especially to people like you, because then you could just fuck me up.
I wish I was meaner, man.
I want to get into this, bro.
I'd be further along in my career.
How I do my version of the podcast is I like to go a little deeper. I had a great conversation with your brother, the kid, you know,
Yes.
and it was
my much older brother.
Much older
Yes.
brother, but his spirit is young, bro. His spirit is very young.
Sometimes. Yeah.
But yesterday I got to see the older dad version of him, like how he thinks when it comes to his kids and his theology of life and how he coordinates his decisions, and
Very wise.
very wise.
He's one of the smartest people I know. Yeah,
I could tell.
Brian's a beast.
I get jealous of your crew.
Really?
I get jealous of your crew because I think that you guys have mastered elevating each other elegantly and not overboard, but also you guys support each other in a loving way when it comes to, like, no one's upset who's going faster, who's going slower. And I think it's just that manhood. Like, I think in my lane right now, they're in their 20s. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so everybody's still young, and like their mindset is young, and the way they coordinate their decisions isn't at their, like, I mean, obviously people like Logan is different. They're coordinating at like a weird level of like intelligence.
He's moving at a different level.
Exactly. Mike, I'm blessed because he came from the streets, so he has that street smart. So
he's also older too.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
Mike's-
I have been, there is people in my life that I pick their brains, and I get a lot of wisdom from them.
As far as the crew, yeah, it's like this. It's a group of guys, but the younger crew your crew can learn from it. It's like what's good for Brian or good for Theo or good for Dalia is good for everyone. Like the boat rises together.
Yeah.
Like, just because whoever Chris is killing it doesn't take away from me. You know.
Yeah.
And I think comics especially, or podcasters, but comics especially, think, oh, that guy, whatever. You know, he's selling more tickets because of this, and it's a reflection on themselves. Like, it has nothing to do with you, man.
100%.
There's enough tickets out there for everyone.
Yep. How do you deal with, because I could ask anybody who sits in that chair and be like, how do you deal with the hate?
Yeah.
How do you deal with people attacking your character? Because I just learned this because I got to a certain level in my life where people will portray me to be something that I'm not. And especially somebody who works on his character a lot,
Yep.
it is very suffocating to be like, whoa, I would even make those decisions behind closed doors, and you guys are publicly saying I would, and that's like crazy for my heart. Now, I'm George Janko, the guy who's like preaching Jesus all the time. I'm not a guy who could like run up on you and fuck you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what does that do to you, knowing that you're reading this shit and you're like, I could kill you.
As far as like criticism or like hate?
Just like people in the industry, one, we won't mention people's names, but people in the industry that come after you when you're, because I realize how this industry works.
It's a good thing.
When they hit at you, it's when the momentum's already going down, so they're trying to even make it go faster.
Yes.
And I realized that I've had like people make YouTube videos on me and do all these crazy things, but the truth always comes out, and so I'm very safe in that.
You can't worry about that stuff because it's not real. And I got this quote from Bilal Muhammad, who's a fantastic UFC fighter in the welterweight division. Great. He put, when the hate doesn't work, they tell lies. So since I've started in comedy, because I came from a different path, right? I didn't come from open mics. I came from, I had a fan base from the UFC, and then started in a different, my open mics were sold out Brea, Chicago Theater, like these giant venues, which for comics who come from those open mics, it, I'm certain can make them feel a certain way. I totally understand. I expected that.
You brought your own audience.
I get it.
Yeah.
I 100% get it. I'm like, man, if I could help you, which is why I help so many comics. Like, I realized I was fortunate enough to not go through what you guys had to, but my journey was different. And it was not easy.
You still earned it.
Oh, yeah. It was not easy. So it's like, but my way of showing, how grateful I am and gratitude is by helping other comics. So the last 2 comics who have opened up for me, Chappelle Lacey, David Lucas, both headline now. So that's how I give back, So I expect that stuff, and I get it. As far as the hate goes, if it's online, YouTube, like I said, once the hate doesn't work, they have to make up lies. So it's so ridiculous what they say to try to, for whatever reason, get clicks or views. I when I tell you this, and I'm sure you've had people on there say, I don't read comments. I'm telling you, I don't see any of it.
You don't.
I don't deal with any of it.
I just started doing that this week.
Why would you put why would you give attention or energy?
I wanted to scale my performance. So for example, if I'm on Impulsive and I got added on as a third member 2 years or 3 years after the show has already been successful, when I came on, I was reading a lot of love, and it was great. But there was also like some hate. If it got to me, it's because it stood out to my own heart without them even saying it to me. For example, one of them is like, why does he swear so much if he's trying to be a Christian? That gets to me because I'm like, damn, they're right. I should like try to cool off. So I do it in that type of sense where I read and I'm very critical to myself. I just can't stomach the ones that make up their own version of me. And
it's only gonna get worse, brother. Like, you're just getting started. It's only gonna get worse. Sometimes I'll read stuff by myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is insane.
Does it ever affect your relationships between your loved ones or like?
No, they know the game. And they know how crazy and sick people are. And then, there's certain haters where it's almost a weird like obsession. Like they know more stuff about me than it's just insane. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because they're like the ultimate hater, but they have to be obsessed with me to keep continuing to do this stuff. So it's a weird way of love. But also, if you're not getting hate, you're not doing anything right, dude.
Because you're not outside your own bubble.
You're not outside your own bubble, but then also you ain't doing shit. Mm-hmm. Like, name anybody. Anybody. Like, Drake puts out an album. Nobody's bigger than Drake. Drake puts out an album. Go read his comments.
No, he gets hate. He gets
all the hate. You would be like, oh, I bet this guy doesn't make any money. How's he even going to continue to do this? Yeah. It's not real. That stuff's not real, dude. You have so much more love than hate. So if you're going to focus on that hate, you're going down a dicey road, man. Because then you're going to come on here and you'll be real self-conscious.
Yeah, I was. It fucked my mind up, bro.
It's as a creative, it's not good. It made me
second guess everything I was saying.
Can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. You won't make it, dude. If you read that stuff, you're literally gonna be censoring yourself to what? To this, the guy's probably, doesn't have a job, probably living in his mom's basement. You come to a bitch. Oh, I cuss too much? Okay. Or whatever they're saying. Oh, I don't like when George makes a reference about this. Then you're like, oh, you're gonna be self-conscious
about making the reference,
and then we're not getting the real George. It sucks.
Oh, this is
that's why you can't read it, because it's gonna form your mind, and it's not gonna be your authentic self.
Yeah.
And people that fuck with you are gonna fuck with you, whether you're cussing, whether you're making references or whatever. And those haters, there's nothing you can do to please them. Trust me, there's nothing you can do to win them over. So why would you parlay or take it over to them? Why would you make sure that you want to make them happy? It's never going to work, dude. It's insanity.
I was reflecting on these conversations with Tanner Fox. He's this, he does like scootering and like he drives really fast cars. He blew up at a very young age. He like made his first million at 16, and like we were talking about the industry and the comments and all this stuff. And I told him, I go, as stupid as it sounds, but this industry feels like high school.
Correct.
It feels like high school.
Where they want to pick, but now it's not to interrupt you, but it's high school where they're going to pick on the popular kid. Let's take down the popular kid because they don't like, for whatever reason, it triggers them that you're friends with Logan, or I'm sure you get this all the time. Only reason he has anything is because of Logan, right? That's not true. That's not true. You're a talented dude. You wouldn't have even been in that situation to be around Logan and get on his podcast if you weren't a talented human being and a good person.
No, I appreciate
so
that.
any of this, I wouldn't be here if you weren't a good person. I'm all set on podcasts, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
I can tell.
I need another podcast like I need STD. You feel me? Like, I'm good.
No,
good.
I was actually really, really excited to have you boys on, and not for nothing. I think on this podcast I'm going to be at my ultimate authentic self and just be as vulnerable as I can, because I think that's where I could actually do something with my life. And I was just telling them, and I'll tell this on camera, like having Joe on and you boys on only scaled me. So when I go and I ask, hey, would you guys like to be on my podcast? I have so-and-so on, I have so-and-so on. It intrigues the shit out of them. They're like, oh shit, under 10 episodes, he's already having these people on. This is really incredible. And so now my lineup is like, before I started this podcast, I wasn't making it a guest podcast.
Yeah.
Because I was scared of asking a guest.
Yeah.
I was scared people were gonna be like, no, I don't want to be on yours. I'd rather be on Impulsive.
Yep.
But then I'm having people that I look up to hitting me up to be on the show, and I'm like, what is life?
Again,
That's
it all
crazy.
goes back to you being a good person. Like if you're an asshole, no one's gonna do this. Nobody.
I wasn't doing it to get that stuff, but I'm glad that my heart kind of like got paid for being good.
Nobody has time for assholes, especially in this business, man. There's enough of them online.
How do you feel? Have you ever worked with an asshole?
Yeah.
Where for example, I give the Roseanne reference. You know, like Roseanne, they didn't love each other, right? They actually hated each other. Am I right, Jess? So they hated each other, but they showed up on set and they had to. Have you ever gone? You don't have to name anybody, but have you ever been like, I want to fucking pump the brakes on this dude?
I've never had that, just because in my line of business, like when I was working for Showtime, it was about me, and I'd be able to, move parts to make sure it was people that I like to work with. And then now, with Thick Boy Studios, my own network, and then the goal now with Dalia and Eric Griffin, or Fire and Kill with Brian. It's all my stuff. So if I don't like somebody, it's like, see ya.
Yeah.
And how did you get that confidence? Did you think it came from like you starting from fighting?
Confidence to do what?
To really just, because bro, like you're in this industry, but like, for example, I've been in this industry for like 10 years, and I told everybody this year, I go, this is the year that I found myself. Like I figured this shit out. Like what year did it click for you? You're like, nah, fuck listening to anybody. I'm going to do it exactly how I want to do it.
From day one.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's different. You're different.
It's different, but then also think about my older brother's Joe Rogan. So you want to so he's the Godfather.
Yeah.
Like he's the end all be all when it comes to podcasts and stand up. So it's like he doesn't read comments. Why are you reading comments? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like
he doesn't read comments at all?
At all. He posts and goes. That's it. So if the guy that you look up to is doing something, why wouldn't you do that? It doesn't make sense.
True. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Jess. Can we put the AC on? It got really hot immediately.
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. I promise.
Okay, cool. I'll let you know, Jess.
Also, too, it's like you get to a certain point by being yourself, and people start to like you and start to be intrigued by you because you've had nobody cloud your judgment, and you're just literally being your unique self. So, of course, once you start getting all the input from the people, once you start to get popular, then that's just going to change. And if you can avoid that and just literally stay true to like what made you get there in the first place, then that's going to keep you from.
But then also, if you're going to get to a certain level where it's like, not everyone's going to fuck with you, man. Mm-hmm. It's just what it is. Name any, I'd love to hear it. Stand-up comedian, podcaster, athlete, entertainer, whoever it is, name someone who's just across the boards beloved. It doesn't work like that in society anymore. So you got to get
more. I was about to say, there's one person that
Tom Hanks.
No.
Right now, Tom Hanks.
I do you know who John Ritter is from Three's Company?
Oh, yeah.
So when I grew up watching him, so I learned all my mannerisms from him, and like
Three's Company.
That's where I got my comedy from. And all of the articles about anybody who's worked with him or anybody who was around him, it was my inspiration, bro. Like they said nothing but unbelievable things.
Remember,
about him.
that's like, you're talking like late 80s, early 90s, where they could control the media. Or they wouldn't write negative things. Never. So, and I'm not saying he was a bad guy. We don't know it. We don't know shit about him. It's like I saw a poll where it's like, who would you vote for president? Tom Hanks was on there and he won the thing. I'm like, listen, I love Tom Hanks. He was great in Forrest Gump. I don't know shit about that dude. I don't know what he believes in, what side he's on, what he represents. I know him as a good actor, But we don't, those big time, like Leonardo DiCaprio, all I know is he's into young chicks. That's it. I know he's my favorite. He's one of my favorite actors. Dude doesn't miss. Outside that, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But now podcasts and stand up, like the fans get to know you, and you're gonna
at a deep level,
Yeah.
too.
a deep level, which is great because then you have so many people that love you and celebrate you and fuck with you. That's all you care about, dude. Get your fans and fucking ride with them.
So you only focus on your audience. How do you manage to focus only on your audience and cut through the noise? Like, because there is a lot of love, right? So I actually do comment back. I DM on Patreon. I spend literally an hour a day.
Love it.
Messaging people back. Those are like, obviously anybody who's spending money on you is like fucking with you.
You gotta be
a
a real special hater to pay for it and then hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be a real loser. You're like, you know you're paid.
I would rather have that hate though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, give me the
Bring
money
it
while
in.
you're hating me.
Light me up for $5.
Yeah. It's 6 actually.
Yeah.
We vlogged too on
wow.
there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, my bad. All right.
You,
Maybe switch that golden doodle out. Get a real one.
you walked in, he goes, "You got a fake golden doodle." He's shredding. And I was like, first of all, he goes, did you adopt it? And I go, no, I bought it. He goes, rich move, huh? And I go, yeah, I like my dogs new. Okay.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, please go adopt if you can't afford it.
No.
So
good.
you have a lot going on right now, man. You have like 10 shows. Like, how are you even balancing all this? Do you have
Yeah.
like a
I mean, I have psoriasis from so much stress. It's stressful, man. Like,
are you actually you?
Yeah, I just got it like probably 2 weeks ago from stress.
Oh,
wow.
no.
I'm just not, and then I have 2 kids and they're my life. So it's like trying to balance that with work and then touring and then all the shows. Cause I was with Showtime for 6 years. I was with Showtime for 6 years, built, helped them build their network, their digital footprint. And then they offered me another long-term deal. And I was like, I feel like I can do it on my own. I think it's time to do it on my own. And then I didn't realize what that encompassed. Like it's just a lot because you go from being just the straight talent and funny guy or whatever till
Operator.
to operator boss where you're not
Business.
just talent. It's just not plug and play anymore. Now,
Is being a boss a challenge for you? Like
Big time.
Trying to be like hard love on the people you love?
big time. Because I'm a lead by example. So I come from sports. So it's like the coach only really, or especially in fighting, like I only heard from when I messed up. So that's my personality. But you got to remember, not every, like especially people, these creatives and producers and editors, they're not from my world. So they need acknowledgement, like doing a great job, which I'm really bad at that. Because I'm from sports, so of course you're supposed to score touchdowns. What do you think you're here for?
Yeah.
So yeah, you score touchdowns, but they don't say anything. You throw an interception, you can hear from them. So that's just my mentality.
I have the
So I got to do
same
better.
exact
I got
mentality.
to do a better job being like great, which I'm getting better at. Being like, hey, great job today.
Does that make you a better father? Because I feel like sometimes you feel like a dad when you're like, for example, like my sister came and she sacrificed her career. She was going up really high in Apple and she was already like literally paving her future out until I had enough of dealing with scumbags in LA. So I go, hey, like I need you to move out. It's the time, like I need you to start managing and helping me out
Yep.
and doing stuff. And
I love that because my brother's my manager.
exactly. So she helps coordinate all these things. But when we first started bumping heads, there's like we had to get rid of the idea of like we're brother and sister working.
Can't have it.
Can't have that. And then also it's like for example, like Reed, he's like the way I treat him is different than how I treat my girlfriend when we work together versus how I treat Jessica. And I realize now as an adult, I have to be different to each one and coordinate to their feelings. And before I grew up watching people that I looked up to, and they would always tell me, fuck their feelings, get it done. And I realized that's not the right way to do it because
It depends. I agree for the most part. It's probably not the right way to do it, and you're making a lot of enemies doing it that way. But you have the same problem as me. Is I'm too nice where I'll keep people around for so long. Where I had to let a person go a few months ago, and everybody in my life's like, you got to get rid of that guy. I'm like, but he's so nice. He's my friend.
Yep. Boundaries though. You got to set
I
boundaries.
know. I'm really bad at it.
So
Really bad at
I
it.
just got good at it because this is how I saw it. there was somebody that I had in my life that I loved for a very long time. We would do business together, and he crossed the line with me.
How so?
When it, so yeah, I can explain it. So I won't mention the name obviously, but I basically put a very good opportunity in front of them. Like so much so that I would have cried if Logan gave me that same opportunity when it came to finances and like all that stuff. Logan, when he came into my life, he goes, "I'm going to open the door," and that's it. And so I learned from that.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, right? You need the door.
That's all I want.
So what I was doing is I was busting my ass for him, and I wasn't expecting a damn thing beside giving me the exposure and giving me the time.
Perfect.
Right? That's how my relationship with him, and I would cry myself to sleep being grateful for it.
Yep.
Because, for example, look what I have now, all because he says, "No, I like this kid. I want him on my show."
Correct.
Right. I gave him that plus 2 times more money than I started with. Just because I don't worship money, and for me to practice not worshiping money,
Yep.
I like to put money in the pockets of people that I love and have them be fruitful. And all I ask is know that it doesn't come from me, it comes from God. And then 2, go out and do the same.
Yep.
So this is how I try to plant my garden.
Yep.
He made it seem like it was insulting what I offered him.
Interesting.
And that shattered me.
Isn't that wild when you realize how bad, like, I don't want to say he's a bad person. I don't know who you're talking about, but same thing. I've given people some opportunities and where it goes south for whatever reason. They take no ownership of it. And then it's like, oh, he's a bad guy. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? All the shit I did for you? And then
They paint you as the villain.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah. And then you realize
I would want to kill myself over that, bro.
I don't
How do you
care.
forget
You shouldn't,
1,000 things that I would do?
George, you shouldn't though, because you know you're a good person. Look at all these people. Like, sorry, you know you're a good person, so I don't care. It's like, yep, all right, that's your narrative, and you want to run with that. It's like,
it's not
go
that I
do
care
This is
with the
exactly why
narrative.
you're not here anymore.
It's just that you were my brother, you were my sister, you were my cousin in my eyes. So it's like, in my mind, it's like, bro, like
It hurts.
I sacrificed myself for you. When other people in the industry wouldn't sacrifice, they would just give me an opportunity.
Yep.
There's a difference from giving somebody an opportunity and sacrificing yourself for them. Okay, so I do that, and every time I lose one person, I lose the other person, I would literally sit here and I would cry to her, and I would literally pray out to God, and God, open my eyes and heart. If it's me and I'm the piece of shit, correct me. But then all of a sudden my eyes start opening, and once that you cross a line with me, what happens then is then I monitor your past behavior. And that's fucked up because I'm very analytic. So if you did something wrong to me and we were friends, I'd forget about it.
Yep.
Because I don't like holding shit in my heart.
No.
There's no
It's
need
bad
for
for
it.
you.
You're a
Yeah.
human being. You're going to fuck up, move on, right? But if you get to a level where you cross that line with me and we take that time apart from each other and I sit there quietly and I reminisce with all the things you did to hurt me,
You see so many a common theme. You're like, oh my God, how did I not see
it's a
this
pattern
earlier?
and not potential.
Yes.
And I think we do that in every relationship. We fall in love with a certain person or a thing and go, well, if he acts like this, then it'll be perfect. Or she acts like this, then it'll be perfect.
You don't
It's
see
like,
the downside.
You need to start realizing the pattern and realizing that if this person is not, at least, I don't even ask people, don't try to rocket ship me. I don't need you to be my fuel.
No.
But I need you to be my friend.
Yep.
I don't need you to be an anchor. So like if you're holding still and your decisions are decisions that I wouldn't take pride in, like for example, if you're doing something that is shady to somebody else, you are me, bro. When you're hanging out with me, you're
Correct.
reflecting me.
And I don't operate like that. I
Exactly.
don't move like that. And if you move like that, then
You gotta move
You
separate.
can do that,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be part of it.
Exactly, bro.
And here's the thing, George. This is going to happen again and again.
Bro.
It breaks my heart. But I have the thickest skin for it now.
Is that why they call you thick boy?
Yeah, I guess.
How do you deal with it, bro? Like at what point
You just take it on.
it gets
you
easier,
do
right?
nothing. You ignore them. You learn from the mistake, and you realize it's going to happen again. And you hire slow, fire fast.
I gotta get. I'm such a passionate human being, in everything that I do, bro. I'll either do it 100 or I'm out.
Yep.
And I feel like that is a double-edged sword because I'll give you an example. I'm in this industry. Nobody's gonna get in the way of my heart. But what happens if your heart is leading you down the wrong path? For example, I had to limit myself and monitor myself with my friends. All 3 of these people here will literally tell me no if I want to go smoke a J if it's not on the weekend or if I'm not shooting the next day and the following day. I gave myself like an allowance with smoking weed because I never grew up wanting something that stumbled my way of my life.
Yes.
And so how do you build discipline with yourself and because you're your own boss.
Yeah.
So not only are you dealing with personal issues, financial issues, family issues, losing a friend issues, but then even on your fucking days off, you have to give yourself like limitations and like boundaries. How did you learn to do that? Or was this something you learned during fighting camp?
I think fighting growing up, and people say, oh, like, and I don't mind it. I get why they say it, but they go, oh, he has a professional athlete's work ethic. No, I don't. I have my dad's work ethic. Like, you could put me at UPS or Starbucks, I'd crush it. So anything I do, like you, I'm 100% in. So with that stuff, all those outside factors, all the pressure, I like the pressure. I don't mind it.
Really?
But then also I have 2 little boys who, they don't know online. They don't give a shit. So like Sundays or when I get home, I'm not on my phone. That phone's gone. So you can't get a hold of me. All my team knows that, and I'll deal with it in the morning. Now I'll wake up in the morning and get my phone like, oh.
Do you work out every day?
Not every day, especially now. Probably 3 times a week now. I used to do every day, but usually 3 to 4 days a week.
Do you have like a trainer, or do you do it yourself?
I do it myself. I ride bikes a lot because I grew up in gyms, so I rode bike and
Outside
gravel
or
bike.
inside?
Outside, man.
Bro,
You just got into biking.
I'm really into biking right now.
Oh, really? Like road bike or mountain bikes?
Both.
Yeah, both.
I
You gotta do both. Why pick?
I have to.
Why
We're
pick,
successful.
dog?
We're
Come on,
successful.
dog.
Look at my dog.
Yeah, I know. Let's get another one.
I have a. What kind of bike do I have, babe?
You have a beach cruiser.
I have a beach cruiser and I
Those
have
don't count.
an
Keep going.
electric
Those
one
are
too. Electric
but why?
mountain
They're
bike.
comfortable.
They're
and
cool.
Nice.
No.
I'm talking like straight up. Like
Oh, you're like going down the trails like.
I have so it's a road bike that I converted to a gravel bike, so I can go on the trails like the Santa Monica.
Bro, I can ride on the beach, like on the sand.
Yeah.
The
It's like with the thick
thick
big
tires.
Yeah, those are
yeah.
dope.
I have that one, and that one could go up the mountain, it could go up the snow, it could go, but it's electric too. So I'm not really like pedal. I don't do
Those
it
are
for
fun, though.
I don't do it for like a health benefit. I do it because like I swear to God, bro, my whole life changed when I was adding those boundaries. I was like, okay, I have to be outside 2 times a day.
Have to.
And it just, bro,
Yeah.
I have a mandatory meetings. We have them at the park.
It's so good for you.
I'm telling people like, yo, if you want to talk to me with our feet in the grass.
Yeah, get outside.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
it's so
really
good.
helps. And then the other thing that changed my life, I was having a conversation with Tony Robbins, and
Never heard of him.
you've never heard of Tony Robbins?
Just kidding.
Oh
Keep
my
going.
God, I was like, there's no way. Pick up one of my
George,
books.
you dropped some. Oh, a name. There you go. Keep going.
Oh yeah, so
Tony Robbins and
I was talking to Tony Robbins. And that's not even that flexing. He was on
Tony
impulsive.
Robbins?
He was on impulsive.
Tony Robbins is a big fucking deal.
Dude, but it was on
Like,
impulsive.
anyway,
He
I was
wasn't there
chatting
for
with
me.
Ellen.
Oprah and I.
Like there's some other Ellens out there. So anyways, Ellen texted me the other
So
day.
his team still texts me, right? And just kidding. No, I was sitting there talking to him. The one thing on the podcast when he was talking is he said, if you take 10 people that were depressed and you just took all of them into the gym and got them a really good routine, 7 of those people would stop being depressed. And I was like,
Fair point.
damn, that's 70%. So how much of us are we really depressed because our routine's off and our food is off?
Some of it's clinical, like that. It's a legit problem.
Of
But then
course.
some people, you just gotta get your ass moving. Quit being lazy. Get outside.
Exactly. But growing up, I never really ran into that many depressed people, bro. Like
Something's going on. Yeah.
something's going on.
Well, we
And-
were all outside. Every single kid was constantly out. That's the only thing you could do. You go outside when the street light lamp goes on, you go home. Now everything is inside, right? TV's inside, you're playing games inside, your buddies come over, you're just playing
iPads.
video games. That's all you do.
The kids that play video games online for hours. Like I don't play that shit. My sons don't. They don't have an iPad.
No,
That's
good. No
good.
iPad kids, bro.
That's
I will
really
never
good,
let
yeah.
my kid's going to be like 13 when I give him an electronic, bro. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
reason
it's
for
not
that.
We were
good.
at dinner. We were at a really nice dinner in Laguna, and it was like a romantic dinner for our anniversary. We were sitting there, and then the family next to us. Remember the kid on the iPad? It was so loud.
It's just bad parenting too, because
Yeah, it's lazy parenting.
It's lazy.
Yeah.
It's lazy. Because that kid's gonna be zoned in that iPad, obviously not making noise or whatever. But just be a better parent.
Well, teach your kid to have manners, to be polite. How do you, function when you're at a table? Like I grew up, you sit at the table with adults and you have manners and you have conversations and you sit there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I go to the gym with a trainer. That sounded like we cut.
Yeah,
That sounded like we cut, but we didn't cut. I swear to
No.
God. Actually, keep it.
Yeah,
that my
keep it
brain
natural.
was. My brain was like, I could naturally pick up from
Yeah.
that, and I fucking failed at that. And I'm.
good. It was a-
really
Let me pick up. So Tony Robbins, right? We were sitting there talking to Tony Robbins. And so when I found this out, I go outside. That changed my mood. And then I went to the gym and I held myself accountable.
Did
And
it take Tony Robbins telling you that working out would be good for you?
I swear. Not only did he have to talk to me, but he had to like do this a little bit. And then I'm like, he's fucking right, bro.
And
Like,
now
what am I doing
yeah.
here? And so I go to the gym, and I had to hold myself accountable, because you see those 2 books. I like, after meeting him, I really wanted to read his books, because I was like, shit, this guy, like, when he talks, he doesn't just talk out of his ass. He has like passion behind it.
He's the real deal.
So I went, read his book, and one of the things he said, he's like, don't negotiate with yourself. So I go to the gym, and I realize, I'm like, bro, I'm not really working out. I'm not good at working out. And then I realized, I started taking accountability. So then I hired myself a trainer, and this guy doesn't give a shit about me being tired, and he pushes me.
That's what you need.
Bro, this changed, like, I'm not even kidding. I've never worked out legs. 2 reasons. Don't know how to.
Yeah, sure.
Properly.
That's
And
fair.
and there, I hear a lot of people go like, oh, I hurt my knee, tore my ACL squatting. And I go, fucking no, I don't want that at all. Skinny legs for life. That's my motto, right?
Skinny jeans, skinny legs.
But he makes me do legs every day.
Oh, interesting.
And it pumps blood, and also, what's that? Sorry, the thing that men have, testosterone.
Testosterone, yeah.
It pumped both of them so much that I literally, you know what it felt like? That when there was troubled situations, it wasn't affecting me the same.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever been hangry and you're like, yo, shut the fuck up, get
That's
out of my
the
head?
worst, yeah.
Okay. It's like I was working at that level all the time
And
during.
just rock hard.
Yes. But now I'm like peaceful.
Yes, that's great. I mean, thank God you started working out.
I'm sorry.
How old are you?
I just turned 30.
Yeah, time to start working out.
Yeah, no, I know, bro.
Better late than never.
Fuck, dude. When did you start gaining weight on your body and you're like, oh, this is not how it used to be?
It's tough because when you're a professional athlete, like when I was fighting the UFC, like you're talking about, I mean, I'd have to force myself to eat.
To gain like weight?
Just to stay at a weight, because I was burning so many calories, working out 3 times a day, like these insane workouts. So then, I've never been like, Brad Pitt shredded, even when I was down to like 225. So it's like, I'm always in decent shape. I never eat like an asshole. I always stay on it. That's a discipline thing.
Yeah.
Too.
Are you still like that
It's a
now?
habit.
It's super like that. Yeah.
So you eat healthy?
I do, all the time, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't.
All the time. No? See, that make you feel better too. Tony Robbins didn't tell you that? That's not in his book?
He might have, but I don't think he clapped his hands, so I don't think it counts.
But I think that just comes from like your life, like habit. If you like have always to this point thought that it was okay to eat a certain way or to, you know what I mean? Like,
Whoa, don't shit on my mom. No, I had home cooked meals. I'm just the asshole.
what? I would never show your mom. Were you kidding?
You hear that, mom?
She
She
cooks
watches
you.
every episode. Did you see that? Look how she was like,
Your
it's
mom
the way you
cooks
were
you
raised.
home cooked meals every day. I said, if you think that it was okay when you went off on your own, you started living in LA and you're 20, you're ordering fast food, you're eating whatever you want, like that you got into that habit. You know what I mean?
You got
Not
your
your mom.
habit too. You just have bomb genetics.
Georgie, I have cheat meals here and there with you, but on a regular basis, I eat incredibly healthy.
So we're lying on the podcast. Now.
He always tries
So
to
we're
say
li-
that. He's
this
like, you
girl
don't
would
even eat
literally
healthy.
have abs until she rots in a grave. Like you look
Yeah,
at her,
there's
she has,
genetics.
like
Genetics
yeah.
have a lot to do with it. But
Fuck
when
outta
you say
here.
your mom made home cooked meals, what kind
Every
of,
day.
that's great, but what kind of home cooked meals?
Just could answer this a lot more. Very healthy too.
Yeah, no, my mom is the most health conscious out of all of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're good.
Yeah, she cooks amazing meals.
Like my dad made home cooked meals. It was like hamburger helper, macaroni and cheese.
No,
Yeah,
no.
That doesn't count.
No.
Yeah.
Very lean. She would we grew up very, very healthy. I just got into the habit of like fast food because it's like fast and I could work and I could just go. But then my body is like, hey man, you're dying. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, you travel the world. Have you noticed that their fast food is significantly different than ours?
Well, it's different. I don't eat fast food on the road either, but the food's different for sure. See, but that's it. Once you start, because are you headlining now? Are you like touring comic, like nation worldwide, or no?
No,
You're
I'm just
doing
opening
spots?
up for people and trying
You'll
to find
notice
my
once you
voice.
start headlining, like, you get done with shows at like 1 a.m. The only thing that's open is fast food.
Yeah.
So when I first started, it was like, we got to get food. So like someone would run and get Burger King or whatever. So that's what you're eating. They realize, man, I'm doing a lot of spots. I'm doing a lot of fast food because the only thing I was open. So now you got to be more
Mindful.
conscious of it. Yeah. And be like, all right, let's line up something, order it. So when we get to the house, it's there. So we're not waiting on fast food.
Yeah, plan
Because
ahead.
big
Yeah.
time.
She's such a blessing in so many ways, but one of them, and this sounds so chauvinistic, but I don't give a fuck who thinks it is chauvinistic. One of the hottest traits of her is like, I've never asked her to cook a meal for me in my life,
That's
ever.
awesome.
But she always makes sure that there's a warm meal at the table after I'm done working, and it feels unbelievable. Like God can take all of my blessings as long as like I have a home cooked meal and a loved one next to me. I think that's the greatest
Yeah,
thing
that's
you could
great.
ever ask
That's
for.
dope.
We just got into this routine where she would call my favorite restaurants and find my favorite meal, ask for their exact ingredients, and then replace them with healthier like
Oh, that's
ingredients.
dope.
So I could have like really, really fun meals that are really healthy.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gives
you
you a
could be
good
healthy.
system here.
Yeah.
We're building it together.
Building together. The dog got beef jerky, but that's cool.
No,
Actually, that's dehydrated chicken.
No, that's a bummer for the dog.
It's good.
no. We give him ice, bro, and he thinks it's a treat.
loves
We
it,
set
yeah.
the bar low,
I cook
bro.
for him. I
You
cook
cook
for
him too?
Yeah.
Damn.
I make him his meals.
You got a real one here.
Bro, no, real, because she goes grocery shopping. She came back, and I opened up the bag, and I go, "Why is there, babe? Why did you get 2 of everything?" She goes, "Dude, I always do that." I go, "Who's this for?" She goes, "Tommy." I go, "What?" I go, the dog eats exactly what I
He's
eat.
Good.
Exactly what I eat, bro.
Oh, I love it.
Like,
Until
literally
you,
exactly what I
live
eat.
long.
Yeah, you got to take care of them. I love it.
I do have a question for you. So, how are you juggling filming 4 podcasts and then going on tour? Are you pre-filming? Are you filming like as you go? You come back for it? Like, how are you managing all of it?
Yeah, I don't believe in. I hate what pre-taping. Pre-filming is not the way to do podcasts usually. But some of them will. Like on Golden Hour with Dalia, like he's on the road for like 10 days. So we banked 2 of them. One regular one Patreon. But that's really the only show we'll bank every now and then.
Yeah.
And it used to be King and Sting with Theo, and he moved to Nashville. So he was in town. We'd bank like 4 of them. Then he'd leave town. But I hate banking them.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your favorite to do a podcast with? Who do you like?
Yeah.
All of them great. I mean, dude, they're all fucking really great, actually. So, like, this question is genuine. Like, which one are you excited about?
I mean, the one where I know, because none of them, we don't have like production notes or nothing like that. It's just flying off the seat of your pants. But the one where I can sit down, I know no matter what either one of us is going through, it's going to be a good podcast and funny is Callan. We've been doing it 11 years now. So it's like I can just sit down.
Yeah, I do 800 and what, 71?
More than that. That's just what's been counted. So we had probably 500 prior to we got to Fox. We only started counting once we got to Fox.
Wow.
But me and him used to do it out of his garage. Me and him in wife beaters.
So, question:
Wow.
How do you? Damn, you've been in this game like right when it popped. So, what made you guys like go to podcasting? Because like even now, it's still a new thing that's starting. So if you're doing it that long
it's
ago,
kind of teetering off now because there's no barrier to entry, right? So any dumbass can do it. But the talent always rises to the top. But so many people got into it, especially during the pandemic, that started tailoring down as far as how many people were doing it. But me and Brian, it was Brian's idea. I moved to LA. This is 12 years ago at least. And he was like, come on my podcast. And he had the Brian Callen show. I didn't even know what a podcast was. He's like, it's like radio, but we record it and put it out later.
Were you still fighting at the time?
Yeah, currently fighting. I was like, that's a terrible idea. And
so
he's
you
like,
got into stand up and fighting around the same time.
No, I was fighting, and then moved to LA for a training camp here, and then met Brian Callen. I mean, him and I started doing the podcast when I was fighting. And we just had this weird chemistry. He's like, man, we should do a show together once a week. And I was like, what do we call it? He's like, well, you're the fighter, so we'll call it The Fighter, and I'm the kid. I was
What
like,
a great name.
I was
Yeah.
like, who calls you the kid? He's like, everybody around Hollywood. 2 years later, I'm talking with him, I'm like, they call you the kid on the set? He's like, no, nobody calls me that. Like, that's what you told me. He goes, oh, I made that up. I thought it'd be cool if they did.
Well, dude, he manifested that, bro.
It's so nobody calls me the kid. To this day, I've never heard anybody go, there's the kid ever. But so we just started doing it, and then he was like, yeah, you can break down fighting and stuff really good. And I'm like, dude, I hate that. Anybody who knows me knows I hate doing that. So I was like, I'm down to do it if I can be like silly and talk about fashion and cars, stuff that I'm into. He's like, all right, cool, man. So we started to do that, and I was like top 10 in the UFC at the time, and nobody else had a podcast. It was like the first time a fighter and a comic got together, like an athlete, professional athlete and comic got
Right.
together. Now there's so many. But so we just started doing it, and then I was fighting, I think it was Andre Arlovsky in Vancouver, and I got to the airport, and people are throwing out references from the podcast, the comedy podcast. And I got to TSA, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. People are noticing me for being silly. And I get to TSA, and he's like, oh, what's up, man? Huge fan. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. Come to the fight. He's like, what fight? I'm like,
No way.
Wow.
I was like, dude, you don't see the billboards? Like, I'm fighting Andre Arlovsky. He's like, oh, I had no idea, man. I listen to the podcast. And I was like, oh, man, there might be something here.
Damn.
So you're like, yo, I'm done getting punched in the face. That shit's
Yes.
not funny.
And then probably 2 years after that, I got my paycheck. At the time, podcast wasn't making much money, but then I got the podcast once we first started getting advertising. Then I got the check for getting punched in the face. And it just, that's the big man upstairs working, because it was the podcast for getting punched in, or the check for getting, being funny on a podcast, then the check for getting punched in the face came at the exact same time. I opened both of them
Wow.
up. the one being funny was way more than the one getting punched in the face. I was like, let's go this way.
It's so much safer, bro.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it's like it's a
something
ground.
I always
It's-
wanted to do. Always.
Oh, you've always wanted to do that?
Always.
Really?
Yeah, my heroes growing up were like Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey.
Have you ever met Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah.
How is he?
The best.
I heard that every single
Yeah.
person. That's
Literally
one.
everybody.
That's one. I mean, we were talking about who like is actually loved all around. I think he's loved all around.
Rotten Tomatoes begged different. You know, they're
Rotten Tomatoes.
Fair enough. We didn't even think about that.
And also the hate online for him, you know, it's like so stupid. Like, oh, he makes trash movies. And I'm like, excuse me, sir?
You are nuts.
He started
Nuts.
No,
movies.
I will fight you over Adam Sandler.
See, that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll fight with
I
you.
love Adam Sandler.
So when you were fighting low key in your head, were you always like, oh, I want to do comedy?
No, I mean, when I was a kid, I did, but I was gifted athletically, and that was the way to be the cool kid because I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. So being athletic was a way to get girls and stick out and get attention.
Right.
I was really athletic, so I was like, I'll just stick with this. But my dream was to be on Saturday Night Live. Still is.
Really?
Still host Saturday Night
Wow.
Live. Yes, because I grew up watching that and Robin Williams, and my mom would always have me watch Saturday Night Live with her. But sports just, took me down this crazy road.
Right.
What was it meant to be?
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you so like how come you've never even tried to maneuver doing Saturday Night Live? You're definitely.
I think I need to get more famous. Like they just had, they have like Harry Styles doing it. I think I got some more work to do. I'll get there.
You will.
Yeah.
That will be a celebration.
Oh yeah.
So then, because I saw that you have a degree in sociology.
Sociology and business. Yeah.
Right. Did you do that for the fact that you wanted to like get into acting or know like comedy and know how people work?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think your father made you plan like
Yeah.
career.
There you go.
See,
Father's the
what a big fist! Holy cow, dude! I would never
Not
want
bigger than
to.
Tony Robbins. You should have took those hands into.
Yeah, when he
look
dapped
like
me
a
up, his
child
fingers
next
wrapped
to him.
around.
He's so big and intimidating. He's so big.
Yeah, no, we're friends.
Yeah. Can't wear pro back hats. Ask him what pro back hat size he wears.
Dude,
They
no.
don't make them.
Bro, he has. Have you ever been in his house?
I haven't, dude.
I have. Anyway, so it's like crazy.
Where does he live? Like Mars?
I texted Bell when I walked into his home and I go, this is what I pictured heaven to look like. And I'm not kidding. You walk out and it's just like all water and you're like, wow, he's beachfront. It's not a beach. It's his
beach.
pool.
Yeah.
He has a huge pool, bro. I've never looked at somebody's pool in the backyard inside looking going like this. Like
Yeah, it's Tony Robbins.
it goes like
Yes.
it's
All
just
the
so
time.
big. But then he goes, hey, you wanna with his deep voice, you wanna ride my slide? And I'm like, slide? Yes.
Hell yeah, I want
And he has a slide down into his mini bunker.
That's amazing.
That it's his own like
And
studio.
this is in Cali? It's in LA?
No, it's in. He probably has his house out here, but no,
Yeah.
this is in
Florida?
Florida. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
but bro, it's the craziest house I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, that tracks. It's Tony Robbins, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But also, it's like well deserved. He's such a good dude. Like,
Dude, he was in Shallow Hal.
thank you for bringing up that movie.
That's
What's
where
your
Jack Black goes, wow, you have some banana fingers.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
one.
making fun of his hands.
Oh, got in the elevator.
They're in the elevator.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't
My
think I've
favorite.
seen it.
My favorite. Yeah, because you were like probably 4 when that
Yeah,
movie came out.
such a good movie. They couldn't make that movie now, but
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it, but my favorite scene is when she jumps into the pool.
all the water.
Yeah.
That kid goes,
Yeah,
Daddy.
and he goes, Billy, and Billy's
Daddy.
in a tree.
Yeah.
Bro, I watched that scene 100 times.
The best
bro.
part of that movie is when they sit down at the diner and she orders all that food and the chair breaks and the guy comes over and he goes, you need to fix this chair. What's this made out of? The guy goes, steel? He goes, well, you got to do better.
Dude, that's
And then he's
so-
walking out and those guys are like, oh my God. And he's like, yes, she's with me, fellas. And they're like, have fun. You
It's
could
so-
not make that movie today.
Also, Tony Robbins was responsible to
He's
change.
the one that changed his mind. So,
funny,
ugly
dude.
girls with great hearts, you'd see them as beautiful.
I love that. That's a great movie. By the way, it should be made because all the movies being made right now are shit.
Oh, they're not taking any risk on comedies. Like, there's no like bro comedy anymore. Like, none of that stuff.
I wrote a comedy, so I had done a horror movie, and the directors and the producers, we became really good friends. Just people you work with, you become nice. And I wrote a script, and as for fun, I just handed it to them, and I go, "Hey guys, like my dream would be one day write a movie that you guys produce and direct." They loved it. They go, "We want to do it." So they're on board to do this movie. 50% of my jokes, they removed it.
yeah.
They're like, you
That's what you're
can't,
dealing
bro.
with.
They actually even one of them goes, this joke made me look at you differently, and I was like, what? It's a joke. They're like, yeah, but it's like really fucked up. And I go, yeah, but that's what jokes are. Like, it's something that you would never want to happen. It's a joke. They go, yeah, but like, we don't want to produce this movie if that joke's in there. And I was
that's what's wrong with Hollywood. Like, you're not going to see Superbad again. You know,
but
you're not going to see that.
You
stuff.
watch that;
comedies.
it's not even that bad. It's not bad.
Not to me, but people are bitches.
See, we need
Go watch
producers
Bros.
like you.
Go watch Bros.
What's Rose?
Bros is the
Bros,
the gay bridesmaids, basically.
I didn't even watch that.
Nobody did.
The new in the billboards is the two guys. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen.
That's so funny. Nobody did. Did you watch it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And on the plane, I purposely just scanned past it real quick.
I didn't even hear about this movie. Bros.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's a great movie.
I think Judd Apatow helped.
He didn't make that.
He helped produce it.
But he makes like hits.
He used to.
Oh.
You know.
How do you feel about acting?
I had an audition. The first one I actually cared about a few weeks ago. It's for this big sitcom that I grew up watching with my mom. So I really wanted to get it for her. I don't think I got it because I would have heard by now. But it's rare I get something that I want to do. So they'll send it, like my agency send it. And unless it's something that's like spot on, I usually don't do them.
Yeah.
But I'll do audition stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
if it's something fun.
Yeah.
I stopped auditioning.
Did you?
I like to. I realize I'm a creator. Like you know how you said you met Brian and he like put you on this path of like podcasting. And you're like, oh shit, this makes more sense. When Logan opened up the door of like, hey, why don't you create something and record it? It changed my life because I'm like, oh, I read scripts and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to act like this. I don't want to be like this. And also, I don't like that they and this is like a very cocky statement, but I don't like jumping through hoops for roles that I don't even love. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
that's the problem. Yeah,
you have to kiss ass. And I'm like,
there.
bro, I don't even fucking want this role. Like, I don't want this role.
Well, it's good you recognize that early on, though. You know,
I recognize that. So I like to watch other people and how, their life and what their metric is, so I don't make the same mistakes, or I can make the same blessings.
Yep.
And the one thing that I learned is people that sacrifice their heart to make $1, regardless of where you're at or how much money you make, you're fucking miserable.
Yeah.
So like I immediately
politicians. Yeah.
I start sweating on this podcast. Anyways, we make a cut now. So Tony Robbins,
You're
right?
like, I don't get why you're suppressed on YouTube, Brendan.
Hates gay movies, politicians.
Listen, I don't mind gay movies. They just have to be good. That's their problem. They're like, America's so homophobic. It's like, no, the movie sucked. The movie sucked.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
So nobody's homophobic. It's just a shitty movie.
I don't have any problems with any movie being made. I just want shit to be good. I don't care what you're fighting for. At least make it good. Don't like pressure to like watch a certain thing. And that goes for any medium, even Christianity. If you're gonna make a Christian movie, make it good, bro. Don't be cheesy with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another Christian cheesy movie. Like make something that you're proud of. And a lot of people now are not making product they're proud of. They're making product to make a profit.
Or a product that's safe because they know Hollywood.
But that's because it's
Yeah.
profit.
Correct.
And everything is so like
Well, they think it's profit, but they're losing their ass.
right. And they just like they dumb everything down because nobody has the attention span anymore. So they're like, oh, okay, how to keep everybody intrigued? Let's just tell them how these people are feeling. There's no like nothing breathes.
There's no risk taking.
Yeah, it's like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you know.
They're way too scared.
How do you feel about the cancel culture? Do you think it exists?
If it exists, fucked over two of my friends deeply. Deeply. So, I think it did a lot of good at the start, and then it just became this frenzy where anybody that ever made any mistakes that they want to take their careers too. So I think it did a lot of good getting rid of some horrible people.
Yeah.
But then it just didn't stop there. They wanted blood for anyone that's ever made a mistake. And it affected two of my friends, and I don't play that shit.
I agree 100%. I think it became like a witch hunt.
Well, people now are studying for you to make a mistake. They're waiting for you to like say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing so
But
they
those
can like
people
get
that
you
are
for it.
doing that, it's like, okay, you guys never made a mistake?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, hold on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It became this weird, to your point, witch hunt. Where at first I was like, oh, I'm bored with them. Like, oh, this is cool, getting rid of these horrible people.
Yeah.
And then once they did that, they're like, all right, let's keep going. Who else can we get? It's like,
Yeah.
whoa. It
Also,
got weird.
Because there was a profit from it. So people were like, oh, I could take this guy down and make a ton of money. There's a comedian that like blew up from taking another comedian down. Like he had I'm not gonna mention who it is, but he had like no career. And then he takes out one of the like biggest comedians ever from past shit that he did. And now he's like in every movie. And I watched that and I'm like,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like kind of
That
like,
comes back to you. That'll come back to you.
do you get what I'm saying?
I get it.
But also it's like,
it's a bitch way to get famous.
yeah. it's
No
undeserving.
respect.
And actually,
Good luck walking in the green rooms or any legit club and the comics being like, "What's up, bro? No, you made a deal with the devil, man."
Yeah, exactly. Because this is what I always tell people. We talked about this on Impulsive. I go, would you guys rather win the belt and the world be like, you didn't deserve that belt, or lose the belt and the whole world is like, you actually deserved that belt?
Correct.
And everybody said the belt.
Oh, hell no.
And I said, I'd rather want the people to be.
All
The
day.
fuck am I going to hang up if I didn't deserve it?
Agree.
Right?
And where are you going to go from there?
Also, it's
You know
like,
what I'm
it's not yours. I don't want anything that's not mine. If
That's
it's,
not the way to do it.
it's
And
not the way to
but
do it.
when he lays his head down at night, he knows that. Feels
Yeah.
like a fraud.
Yep.
And he has to live with that.
We were talking about her career because right now she's getting to that level where she's testing and they're telling her how much you're gonna make and all that stuff, and then now they're just like,
And what's the career? Acting?
yes,
Oh, gotcha.
amazing actress, unbelievable. Like I'm not just saying that because I'm dating her. Like when we were friends, I was like,
I mean,
you're
your
gonna
girlfriend, but I'll take you with a grain of salt.
no, I'll show you some shit. Like every single person that's watched her will call me and be like, damn, you weren't lying. She's
Yeah.
fucking brilliant, and
Yeah.
she is brilliant. She could do a lot of roles. Perfect. Scares the shit out of me, honestly.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about her is that her heart is so much bigger than her brain. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want wisdom if it makes me go in the wrong direction.
Correct.
Because like a lot of people use it poisons them. So when they they said, hey, this is how much you're gonna make. In my mind, if I was at her state in her career, I would have been like, damn, that's a hard thing to walk away from. So as a partner, I just stood by and wanted to see what her emotions are, how she's going to react to this.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's like, well, I just got to make sure, the first thing she says, didn't even talk about the money. I got to make sure that it's a respectful role, that I'm like doing da-da-da-da-da. I don't want my kids to see this. I don't want blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that right there is worth trillions of dollars.
Yeah, that's good.
It's respect. And I feel like now, I get the cancel culture, but it's like a pendulum. It swings in a way that it's like it's either too much or too less.
Yeah.
And to be in the industry, making an income with accountability of righteousness and respect, that is something you can never buy.
Agree.
And so when I'm watching her make these type of decisions, it makes me feel so comfortable as a partner. And this is the only reason I brought this up is because when you have a partner, which you have a partner with your kids, and when you have a partner and you have to worry about making the decisions for them, it's intoxicating.
Oh, the worst.
It's
Heavy
intoxicating.
lies the crown. But does it cost you a lot of roles? And how far, like, is it with anything? Like, you don't want any like romantic scenes? Like, how bad is it?
No, I think it's just like where my boundary lies when it comes to, a lot of roles, they want like nudity for it or they want certain things for it or whatever. And so I know where my line, where my line is. And I think that at least like right now I'm blessed enough to get into the room to be able to be in front of them. And then I can communicate where I stand. And if that aligns with them, that aligns with them. And if that doesn't, then there'll be another role that
That'll
will
work out.
be
There's a
just as
million
good
roles, yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, it all depends. Like there's tons sometimes of I've gone auditions where I'm like, oh gosh, like it'd be my dream to be in this, but it didn't align with my, where I think is what I'm willing to do.
Yeah, your
So
compass.
I had to
Yeah,
be
that's
like,
fine.
listen, this one's not for me. That's okay.
It's like Rogan had a great joke about the whole Harvey Weinstein thing because it's so different for guys and girls in Hollywood and acting, right? So Rogan, I'll paraphrase the joke. I'm probably going to butcher it, but he was saying how crazy Weinstein is. And Rogan only has daughters. He has 3 daughters. He goes, I'd kill that guy. If my daughters were in act and they came in like Harvey Weinstein, hit on me to give me this role, he's like, I'd kill the guy. He goes, and how different is it? If my son, he goes, if I had a son, he comes in, he goes, Dad, Harvey Weinstein asked me to suck his dick to be Batman. He goes, holy shit, you're going to be Batman.
Dude, that's fucking
It's
so funny.
So funny. But it's just different for guys and girls, in
Right.
Hollywood. It's a lot safer now.
A lot
like if
safer now.
you watch the Marilyn Monroe documentary, it's
Right.
tragic what you had to do to
Right.
get some roles.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
But-
she uses common sense. Like we talked about, we laughed. We're like, bro, like you're gonna go do a nude scene for another production for another program. I'd rather fucking do OnlyFans. You'd make all of that money on your own if you're gonna do it for a profit.
never in my life. But
no, I'm
also,
just saying,
I
like,
just like,
you get what I'm saying?
There's other options now. Like back in the day, Marilyn Monroe days, there was no option. Like now,
Yeah.
there's now. If I get with like the casting agents and directors. If it's like a kiss scene, you're like absolutely not on TV. They're like, all right, man, Jesus.
no,
Christ.
I can do all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's part of acting. I'm going to be in relationships and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's just when it comes to like nudity and certain like, you know, outrageous sex scenes.
Yeah,
like,
you shouldn't have to
That's
do
not
that.
for me, no.
No. Yeah.
Because
It's not even for me or like it's not even for her. It's the conversation that she was having is literally for her kids. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
want.
Listen, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her doing it.
Yeah, there's
Also,
no
too, at
need.
the end of the
You're
day,
too
like-
talented for to
well,
like, to
yeah,
sell
I'm
yourself
in
like that.
acting because I genuinely just love, like, I want to show somebody like these different people. I want to make people feel something. You know what I mean? It's the psychology of like these different characters that I want to like portray. Like that's what I love it for. So like I don't need to do all those things. Like the people who, you know, we talk about this, I look up to like Zendaya and, you know, like Jennifer Aniston. Like they're not, you know, out here getting naked.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Aniston pushed it a little bit, but Zendaya, she's on Euphoria, right? So she'll do like freaking heroin and shit, which was a cool role.
No, so
she's
that-
amazing.
See, that's different.
Those
She's
are
telling a
fine.
story. I can do all that,
Yeah.
but it's just the, you know.
yeah,
I just think like
I'm with you on that.
I came to it as like this. Like we have a very because in this industry it's very hard to be in a relationship. So we set our boundaries in the very beginning. I can never make a decision for her. She can never make a decision for me. But we put up like, hey, like I love you and I want to start a family with you. I don't know if I'm like if she had like booked this sitcom and she has a boyfriend and they're kissing every single day or they're having like sex in the scenes but she's not getting railed. That's her job. I can't get in the way of her
No,
dreams.
you can do it. Yeah,
It can't.
that's what you signed up for.
Yeah, and also it's
That'd
like
be like buying that golden doodle being pissed at sheds. That's what you signed up for.
hey, lay off my dog, bro.
It's very weird.
Look how sad he is. Look at him.
It's
Look,
just
did you
like
pan to him? Look how sad he is now, bro.
Yeah, he does look sad. Well, he's tired. But I'm with you.
Hey, you can't.
You
can't-
signed up for it.
But also, it's like I want her to be the one to choose it. Like I told her, like, yo, make your decisions for you. Because like, say even if I was like a jealous boyfriend and I was like, yo, no, fuck no, you're not doing that. Bro, in 10 years, 15 years from now, she's gonna fucking hate me.
It's also your own insecurities. Then you're holding her back from being the next Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
Like, how big of a dick move is that?
Bro, when we found out, like in one of the offers were we're like, we're gonna invest in this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's like I love our relationship. I'm very, very grateful for
How
it.
long have you guys been together?
For almost 4 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is literally my best friend, bro.
Love it.
Like my best friend. Like we literally could talk nonstop, and we never even planned anything together. But we'll do like we never planned on doing the
No.
podcast together.
I think that's what works too. It's just like we're friends. We're just best friends first. So whatever happens, happens. Like when you're hanging out with your friend, you just talk all day. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Don't run out of anything to
Yeah,
say.
it's natural.
You're on the same page. That's
Yep.
just how we like roll. Like
You guys got a good thing.
I think the if I had to say it in like one sentence, I feel super safe with her.
That's great.
And I think if you're gonna reflect on your relationship, not one of the girlfriends that I've had did I ever feel truly safe.
Yeah.
I always felt like if something would have happened to me, or maybe like
There's a biker gang outside. I don't know if you heard that.
yeah.
it's
We're in Hell's Angel territory.
it's a dangerous neighborhood.
Or someone
Great property value though.
Or someone jacked my car. That sounds like my car.
Oh, just make sure they didn't tow it because they look every 30 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Not a big deal, dude. All you gotta do is go down Van Nuys. $800. Be cool, man.
I wish it was $800.
When did you meet your fiance and when did you fall in love? Like what
She
is that
was
like?
working in the UFC. She was doing the kind of like the in locker room and outside the fight interviews for the Spanish side, Telemundo.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was there as a guest. I was doing like guest appearances for the UFC, so I wasn't fighting. So I was chilling, having a good time. And I was in the back waiting. And she walked in. She had like this lime green outfit. I'm like, who the hell is that?
He remembers what you.
Yep. I was like, who the hell is that? And then started talking to her, and then we started talking. I'm like, we should go out. You know, we're both single. And she's like, oh, I'll get fired though. Like it's in our contract, can't date UFC fighters. I'm like, very cool. How much are they paying you? She told me, I go, I'll sign a contract where if they find out we're dating, I'll cover your salary for the next 2 years, even if we don't work out. She's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'll cover it. And she's like, okay. And then boom, here we are, 2 kiddos later.
Wow,
Did she
good
get
for
fired?
you.
She quit. She left when I left because I was, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, honestly.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna be as respectful as possible, but if a girl's ready to quit her job for you,
Yeah,
you're
man.
great in bed.
I mean, I did give her a guaranteed salary though, which was I wasn't making much money back then,
Yeah.
so it was very stressful.
Did you guys do that contract?
No,
Okay,
I told her I would.
like,
I'll write it up if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what are you, Sheldon from Big Bang? You
Yeah.
have like a contract for
No,
like-
she had me. Well, she wrote up a contract because there's nothing better than being a dad. I love kids. So we have 2 now, and I want a little girl. She's like, there's no way I'm having another, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, if I do, you got to agree to these certain things. And I was like, cool, write a contract, girl. Let's get it done.
Compromise.
So, yeah.
You knew that was your forever and ever? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know. When you meet that person, you're like...
And she's such a good... this is, you could say it's sexist, but fuck everybody. Our first date, she's just talking. She's like so caring and loving, which I wasn't used to at all. Like she'd make sure I was good. I'm like, what is going on here? And then I was like, literally probably first 10 minutes of meeting her, sitting down one-on-one, I was like, you're born to be a mom, right? Like you're going to be such a good mom.
Bro,
she's like, everyone tells me that.
How sad is that we can't even put that as a list of like things we would want in a girl? Oh, that's sexist. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Someone who's loving
Shut
and
up.
caring. She's such a good mom.
Nurturing, yeah.
Beastie mom. Beastie.
When I met Belle,
amazing.
I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her because she was the first person I ever dated that I go, yeah, I want my kids to have your qualities.
Also, my girl's the first person that I'm sure similar to you guys, I can hang out with and she doesn't get on my nerves. Like when I'm on the road with my brother, my features, the host, they're great people.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them. But you spend 3 days with them, and by the third day, you're like, dude, if you don't stop chewing ice like that, I'm going to fucking kill you.
If you breathe in my direction.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm going to kill you. But me and my girl, nothing. I can hang out with her nonstop.
Yep.
No issues.
That's amazing.
You guys do have time apart, yeah?
Yeah, because I tour so much.
So
I'm on the road so
that's
much.
very healthy.
Key.
It's very healthy.
Howard Mandel's been with his girl, I don't know, his wife for, 75 years, some shit like that. And he called her and was like, what's the key to keep first being together? And she was like, separation. And he was like, see? Because he's so busy.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have your time.
You have to
apart.
miss each other.
You have to have
Yeah.
your own lives. You can't be just consumed all the time.
Of
Well, you
course.
can't be like the key responsible thing for that person's happiness. And I
No.
think like a lot of people get into relationships and they rely all of their happiness into that one
That's not
person.
good, yeah.
You can't do that.
You both got to be running your own race.
Full.
You're mine.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
you're such a
Oh, Brad, it was such a pleasure. I'll see you later. The fuck
What do you
Like,
mean by
you
that?
mean? Why do you tell me that during cuddles?
Yeah.
You're not
Are you big
depressed when I
spoon?
walk away from
Are
you?
you big spoon or small spoon?
My girl is not that big to be a big spoon of me, man. That would be a problem.
Yeah. That's I always tell
she's
men,
not
you gotta
Tony
be the bigger
Robbins with a
spoon.
wig on. Yeah, that'd be the type of big spoon I would need. There's no big spoon. When you just gotta accept that. I was big as a kid, so there's no big spoon for me, man.
I've never been big spoon. Never. She actually made me pajamas, and it says little spoon on it.
Interesting.
I don't give a fuck. I provide and take care, and I'll
No,
conquer
he's
any
big spoon sometimes,
fucking
but he
vertical
does
ever. I'll
prefer.
protect you. There's a fire. I'll burn myself getting to you. You got a meal. There's only one. You're eating it. I'll provide. There's rain. I'm fucking Rihanna. I'm not fucking Rihanna, but I'm
You would,
fucking Rihanna.
yeah.
I got the umbrella, Ella. Eh?
Yeah.
You know what I
Hey,
mean?
yeah.
But
You're the
like
mini
spoon time, get around me, and I'll
Interesting.
I'll
Like a
adjust her
backpack.
like a blanket. I'll be like, no more here.
Oh, man, I don't think I've ever been Little Spoon. And it's kind of sad now we're going through
Well, you
this.
just need to get her, like, put a pillow higher than your head, and then she could put her head on the pillow, and then be.
I'd be tough.
By you.
I'm a big dude.
Yeah, you're pretty big.
Yeah. I need to get
We
with,
could practice. I could be big spoon on you.
Lizzo could be like my big spoon. That'd be cool. That'd be lit.
Have you had a gun pulled out on you?
Yeah, when I was young.
What happened?
I'm surprised. I've got like 4 times in my life, like a chamber straight to my face.
Oh,
I was
really?
expecting you to have a lot more.
No, why?
Cause I was an idiot when I was a kid, and like me and my
Where'd you grow up, first of
so
all?
I grew up in a very rich neighborhood, but
Okay.
I grew up different because
Malibu's most wanted over here? What?
honestly, bro, not even lying. So my dad had a liquor store in the ghetto, and at the
This
time,
in California?
Arizona.
Okay.
So like obviously the Arizona ghetto is not like LA
Yes.
ghetto, but still I had to fight a lot. I had
Yeah.
to like protect the base of the camp. Like my dad taught me like you don't back down. You also play it safe. Like he actually, if I ever bring him on the show, his one regret, he said, he's like, I wish I never brought my son into all these fights. Like, cause it fucked my mind up. Like, so like when I went to my rich area and these people were talking shit, I didn't tolerate it. So me
Yeah.
and my boys would be reckless and slap people in the middle of a
Sure.
restaurant. And we acted like we were this like unbelievably tough guy until we had our fucking real moment where like,
met actual tough guys.
yeah, and they were like, no, you're not. And bro, like, I'll never forget it. The first time I ever had a gun pulled out on me, we were at my sister's, Tanya's house. Tanya's house was the first time I ever got a gun pulled out on me. I went outside to talk to my mom on the phone. Beautiful neighborhood. And the mom came out. She goes, "Hey, just be careful. There's been robberies." And I started laughing, bro, because like robberies, bro. Like, you have Porsches and Lamborghinis out here. I'm on the phone with my mom. Some sketchy dude pulls up right next to me. I'm on the sidewalk and I'm looking at him. But have you ever like felt so uncomfortable? You're like, I can't do anything. I don't want to turn my back to this guy.
Hell no.
He just gets out of the car. We're making eye contact. Walks 15, 20 feet to me confidently. Looks around. Pulls out his gat. Puts it right to my face. I hang up on the phone because I didn't want my mom to hear me die.
Yeah.
So I hang up on my mom.
Type move.
And he just checks my pockets, bro. I peed my pants.
Oh, you pissed yourself.
I pissed myself.
And did you realize you weren't tough in that moment, or?
Bro, I peed myself. And you know what's so funny? I did martial arts, and my dad's uncle was a security guard.
There. Yeah.
But he would always teach me
to grab the gun?
I could show you right now. I'll grab you a gun, and I'll take that shit from you.
This isn't Rumble in the Bronx, dude.
Nah, bro.
Hey, Jet Li, relax. That doesn't really work.
When I saw the gun here, I go, what if I mess this up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to practice this right now. And he was like shaking too, so I was like, stop shaking, dude. Like, this is how they taught me.
I wasn't even going to shoot him, and then he grabbed the fucking gun and pulled my finger.
I'll never forget this day, bro. He just checked my shit. I had nothing.
Did you have anything?
Had nothing on me.
And then you just left?
You just put it back in his pocket, drove off.
Casually?
The latest one, I was Hollywood Boulevard, Highland.
Latest one? This happened recently?
This one was like 6-7 months ago.
Jesus.
Maybe a year. No, this is when Justin was working with me.
Just like a year ago, probably.
I got
Maybe
mad.
you're giving off small spoon vibes, so they're just checking you all the time, dude.
No, bro. Like you should have. Let me paint the picture.
Please do.
I'm on Hollywood and Highland, turning left on Highland, right?
Okay.
Going towards the theater area, right? Broad daylight, bro. 2:30 p.m., 3 p.m.
That's
latest.
when they do it.
Right? Some jackass was trying to make an illegal turn and blocked me. And I'm already talking to my friend Greg about a frustrating moment that I had with a friend. And I'm like, bro, I'm tired of people walking on me, bro. Sick of this shit. No one's going to fucking walk on me.
Sure.
Dude goes like this. I fucking hit my horn and he goes, shut up, bitch. And I pulled out my window. I popped open the fucking thing and I kicked his fucking car and I looked at him. I go, pull the fuck over. I go, you're a fucking man. Pull the fuck over. He goes, all right, pull over. I go, all right, pull over. Fucking pulled over, literally on Highland and La Brea
This is insane,
or
man.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
I get out, bro, in broad daylight. He goes, say it one more fucking time, bro. I look at him and I go, dude, he's going to kill me. This is broad daylight. Everybody's watching this guy right now. I look.
That guy doesn't care.
Doesn't give a
Nothing to lose.
fuck, bro. I turned to my friend Greg. He had his hands in his pocket. And I literally go, what do I do? Like, I literally go, what do I do?
And you both pissed your pants?
No. This time I was just kind of like, I was more in shock. I wasn't like scared. I was really just blown away by this dude's confidence. Bro, there's cars passing by throwing their horns out. People are screaming.
They don't give a fuck.
He goes, say it one more time. Who's the fucking bitch? And I go, I'm the bitch. I'm the bitch. Me.
I'm the bitch.
I'm gonna get in my Corolla right now and just take off.
I'm like, dude, I'm a small spoon.
That's when the small spoon came out of me. I go, I'll cuddle
Small
you
spoon.
right now.
I'll see you later, man.
Fucking,
Did you just get on my back?
yeah. I got in my car, bro.
I don't want any troubles.
I drove home in 15 minutes. We didn't say a word. We just thought about life.
I mean, you learn your lesson, right? Like, if somebody cuts me off or anything, I don't give a fuck. I assume everybody has guns out here.
Yeah.
No, I didn't assume that, bro. I
should,
I
especially
assumed
out
LA
there.
is like really hard to get a gun. So it's like,
No.
Yeah, I very much got checked. Here's the thing, bro, and I the hardest line I've ever heard in my life. We were at LA Fitness, and this kid that he's a reckless kid. This kid will fight you on site, like he doesn't give a fuck about his life. He's just a psychopath.
Sounds smart.
Some dude like follows him or some shit, and he goes, yeah, and he like, checks at him, and he just grabs him, pulls him in. He goes, do you know that fucking this is exactly how he worded it. He goes, you know the guy your fucking parents warned you about? I'm that fucking guy.
Gangster.
He goes, I will fucking murder you right the fuck here. Shut up. And the guy just goes like this, and I was like, yo, I don't know what I would do if anybody talked to me that way. I would immediately melt.
I would just shut up.
I would immediately melt.
Like,
the confidence of that guy.
Fair point.
Fair point. My parents did warn me about it.
When someone pulls a gun on you, my friends was at this old mall, which is kind of in the hood, and we were all, for whatever reason, we didn't plan it. We were all in red, and my dad just bought me this red jacket from Old Navy, and we're all 3 white boys, lacrosse players, wearing red, walking at like 10 o'clock at night.
How old were you?
That's why I don't wear red.
I was probably 9th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's probably my freshman year of high school, and we're just walking. We're like leaving Red Robin or some bullshit as high school's kids do. Yeah. And we're walking. This black dude ran up to us in all blue. And he's like, "Why are y'all flamed up?" I don't know gang terminology.
Yeah.
At first, I ran, so we saw him come. We ran. He caught up to us. You know, he's faster than us. And we're in red, he's in blue, and then he's like, "Why are you flamed up?" And I don't know the terminology. I was like, "I'm out of breath because we were running, dude. We don't know who you are." Yeah. And he's like, "Nah, bitch, why are you in all red?" And I was like, "Oh, my dad just got me this from Old Navy. Do you like it?" And then my buddies are in red too. And he's like, "Nah, take that shit off. You know what hood you're in, bro?" I'm like, "We're at Buckingham Mall, man. Be cool." He's like, "Nah, shut up," and then pulls the gun out. I'm like, "Oh my God.
It's real.
Oh my
He's like,
gosh.
"Take your jacket off." I'm like, "All right." So it's 3 white boys. We take our jacket off. He's like, "Now spit on that shit." And I was like, "I just got this jacket." So I was fake spitting, going like this. I was like, "Yeah, fuck yo, red."
No
And I look
way.
over my buddy who's just such a bitch. He's going,
No.
I was all.
He's like, look at my work.
I was like,
Check my work.
I remember and the guy was like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." And he leaves, and I look at my buddy. I'm like, "You're such a bitch, dude. You hucked like 3 huge loogies on your jacket, dude." He's like, "Didn't you?" I'm like, "No, man. I got my jacket on."
Hilarious. And you were very like, calm in the situation.
Yeah, I
like,
was calm. I do well under pressure. Yeah.
That's good.
Wait, so like fighting, are you not confident in it? It's just guns, you're not cool with it.
Back then, I wasn't really trained in the gun. I was scared of
ninth
shit.
grade?
Yeah,
You're
ninth
14?
grade. And I got an Old Navy jacket on, son.
Yeah.
That shit was fire, too. I was like, "I'm not spitting on this.
What-
Take my life.
Have you ever had like a
Take my life, son."
Like your spit doesn't even stain.
No, I was all. I was like, "I'm so dehydrated. Give me a second."
we're flamed up, we just ran for
Yeah.
like 20 minutes.
As you could notice, I'm all flamed up, sir.
That's so first of all, that's hilarious.
So stupid.
I love how like I told my stories because like I'm a comedian, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not I grew up thinking that fighting was like the coolest thing until I realized like no, it's not.
Fighting's not cool.
It's not cool, bro.
No.
It's actually it sucks, bro. Like
It's a knucklehead move. It's just stupid.
unless you're like
Mm-hmm.
super into it and you take it professionally.
Even then.
Even then, I'm still.
Stupid.
To me, it's like you don't want to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like this guy's. You're getting paid right now to get punched in the face, and I think about this all the time. If Mike Tyson in his prime would offer me $50 million to go into the ring and fight him, I go, bro, what am I gonna do? $50 million dead?
Oh, I'd say punch me right in the face.
Really?
50 mil? 50 mil? Chance of dying, not good. Fuck me up, dude.
Really?
Hell yeah. 50 mil? One punch?
To the face?
Sock me, baby.
No, I would never, dude. You would cost like $20 million to fix your face up.
It'd be rough. But 50 mil?
Well, I think you've gotten punched
Very hard.
very hard,
Yeah,
many
many
more
times.
times than I've
Many
been.
times.
I've only
It's a
been really
professional
punched
career.
hard by my father. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, your dad hit you too?
Oh my god.
Well, the skin.
I don't have buttoned up personalities in like a gentleman role model state because I grew up with a loving home. Nah, I crossed the line with my dad. It's like, oh, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
You're going home.
Yeah.
You don't do that. Not in my home. But also, he's my best friend, so it's like we're good.
Yeah. No, you're
But
fine.
but also like low key, like the first time I ever got punched in the face, I say this all the time. Like I was like, oh, my dad hits me harder than this. I'll fuck you up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's that.
You've
too.
never been hit by your dad? Bullshit.
Not in the face. No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
No, loving father, right? No. My dad's huge. My dad's like 6'4", 220, man. So when I was a kid, he'd fuck me up. He's in better shape than I am now.
So you did
he's a
get fucked
beast.
up.
No, because if he did, I'd get super fucked up.
Was your dad a fighter too?
He's like black belt in taekwondo, karate. Like, yeah, he's a tough dude.
Did he
Works
train
out all
you?
the time. No. No.
My dad, Middle Eastern. No
No.
belt. The only belt he used was the one that he hit me with.
Yeah.
Actually, he does have a black belt in karate.
He has a black belt in karate?
That doesn't count.
That doesn't show in his fights.
Well, he's not gonna be like,
No, I would. I fucking... God.
you want some of this, you little fuck?
I have so many funny stories of us fighting, which I don't even know if legally I could even bring them up. But there was one dude that knocked my dad out in front of me. Not out cold, but like down to the ground. And that shit was, till this day, the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. This dude was like 6'4", huge, looking down at my dad. I'm just pulling in. I'm like 16, 17 years old. Pulling into the liquor store. The dude pushes my dad. And I've always got so excited to fight somebody with my dad. I don't know, it sounds really stupid.
That'd be cool.
I always wanted to put the brakes on somebody with my dad. I jump out of the car, and bro, this dude just goes shock and just
Right in the
fucking
face?
Bro, no. The cleanest hit to my dad's face. My dad gets hit, looks at me. He's going down on the way down. But he grabs his shirt while he's going down, rips his shirt. The guy takes off. My dad gets up and goes, fuck him, I got his shirt. And I go, Dad, just lay down, bro.
Your dad's
for a
a
bit.
tough guy.
Oh my God. When I used to come home and
What ethnicity are you?
Assyrian.
Oh, gotcha.
I think if you're born in a
people.
Middle Eastern
Tough
country,
people.
you're different.
Tough people.
They would literally hit you with sticks and rocks.
Yeah,
Like,
different game.
yeah, different game. So, that's that.
Yeah, your dad's a legit tough guy.
I love my dad.
Yeah.
And he's the sweetest human being you'll ever meet in your life.
Doesn't sound like it, but that's fine.
Now,
As long as you don't steal from him, you're good.
unless it's food.
Yeah.
You can steal
or you're
food from him.
pregnant.
Yeah, or you're pregnant.
Then you're good.
I like those rules.
Yeah.
Your dad's cool, man. Your dad's all right
It's
with
like
me.
the mafia, but like not the mafia at the same time.
There's a set of rules there.
Yeah.
So when it comes to comedy, because you started going on stage with the kid
Me and Brian started
to make
together,
to make him happy.
Yeah.
To make him. So you started going on stage with him. Like, what was that like? Were you terrified of going on? When
No.
did you realize like this is it? This
Wait,
is
these
for
are
me?
live performances?
Yeah, yeah.
No way.
Me and Brian we started doing live Fire and the Kid.
Great question, babe.
We started doing live Fire and the Kid because the podcast was getting legs, and so we started doing live Fire and the Kids. And then, so Brian would be like, we're going to open every show. It's not a podcast, it's a performance of us. So he was like, we'd write down a whole performance piece and we'd start every show with you doing 10 minutes of storytelling because you're a good storyteller. I'm like, all right. And so we're doing that for like 5 or 6 shows. Then we're at the Vic Theater in Chicago, like 3,000 people sold out. And I'm in the back. I'm like, God, I don't know. I'm not sure yet what story I'm going to do. And Brian's like, what? I'm like, what? Help me with my story. And he goes, story? He goes, oh, Bubba, you're doing stand-up. I just didn't want to scare you because I know you've always wanted to do it. And I was like, oh, shit, you're right.
No way.
So that clicked for him. I'm like, oh, it's stand-up. He's right. So then that following week, we did a live Fire and the Kid at the Comedy Store. And it goes great. And then like 2 weeks after, I get a call from the manager of the Comedy Store. And she goes, hey, why don't you do a set at the store? I'm like, oh, no doubt. Let me call Brian, see if he's available too. And she's like, no, dumbass. We saw your stand-up at the Fire and the Kid. We want you to do a spot here. And I was like, wait, just me? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I went and did that. And then it was like off to the races.
How did you prepare for that?
I was the Fire and the Kid prepared me for it, doing these like huge theaters and all the pressure of that. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And then just off to the races.
What's your favorite thing you've ever done?
Stand-up.
Has
by
to
far,
be, right?
By far.
I try to explain this to people, bro. It's different. Like when Joe made me go on stage. And
Coy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So so Logan told him that he wants me to do stand-up. And Joe, such a blessing in my life, he called me. He goes, yo, you're going to come do this. And so I did it. Would have never done it if it
Joe's a
wasn't for
really
him.
good buddy of mine. Love Joe. Coy. Love him.
He deserves every success he's ever had in his life. He's the most unbelievable human being. And I get off stage and I try to explain this to people. Performing is cool. Being an actor is cool. Being a fighter is cool. It's very different when people get dressed to all sit in a room to laugh. It is a different
it's a different
energy.
high. Yeah, it's
a
great.
different like feeling. It's like this is the best way to explain it. Have you ever told like a really good joke in front of your friends and family and like just for that split second it was a hot joke and everybody's laughing? That feeling right there is like you could have that for an hour
Times
if you do it
1,000.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
times 1,000.
Because there's so many more
and
people.
they're strangers. Yeah,
Yeah.
not your family.
It's
great.
I think everybody should at least try it once.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're funny,
Yes.
I don't think you should do it if you're not funny. If you're a quiet guy,
yeah.
maybe you shouldn't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But if you're a funny guy and like people are like, oh, you're funny, you should at
Yeah.
least go up and try because like it's very therapeutic in general just to get your shit off your chest and make it like, oh, I'm just
therapeutic, but
joking.
also I think if you try it, you'll realize how tough it is. So
Yeah,
you'll be
it's hard.
humble on people's specials or if you go to the show or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's actually very, very well
you realize
played.
how tough it is.
You're like, oh yeah, actually. You actually start laughing at their joke extra hard because you're like, no, I get where you were going with that. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of like improv, or do you feel like you usually like going into it? I have these stories I'm gonna tell.
I'll have like my set list, but I don't like write out the jokes. Otherwise, it's like very like structured. You can't have fun with it. So I'll write out like keywords, which will remind me of the bit to do, but then I can have fun in between those. And
And
there's
crowd work and
segues
stuff.
into the next one. Yeah, and crowd work.
Nice.
Who's somebody you look up to and you like try to, like I absorb from watching other stand-ups and not trying to mimic them, but like take from their knowledge. Like, is there somebody that you that you're like, oh, I really want to emulate or mirror?
My style's close to like a Bert Kreischer, who's like a storyteller with jokes in there.
Yep.
So more like a Bert Kreischer, who's a close buddy. But I don't watch much stand up for that reason. Like I don't want to pick up on their certain things because it's very
It's you
very
accidentally
easy to
take
mimic,
it.
and
Right.
then you'll have a bit, and then somehow so I don't watch too much stand up.
Okay, so
I'll watch somebody live. Like I'll watch them like, Jesus Christ, they're so good, and get inspired. But I won't watch like, unless like a buddy like Theo or Chris or like Kreischer's special. But if they're not a buddy, I typically won't watch it.
Theo came into the last Laugh Factory in Hollywood here, and we had him on the podcast, and he was funny, but I felt like he was like on this like character, and he was doing his thing, and I was like, okay, it was really fun to have him on. He was really funny. It was very like, you could tell he has a big heart, but bro, he came into the Laugh Factory
Savage.
and he blew everyone out of the way.
Yeah, savage.
So
Bro,
funny. So
and he
funny.
just came on. He wasn't even nervous or anything. Like there's moments that I remember of people, and the one every time I close my eyes and think of him, he just walked in with his just fun hairdo and his
mullet.
personality, and just walked on stage. And he just took a breath, and you could tell he was like, all right, what do I want to talk about?
He's a beast.
And then he
Super
just
beast.
went in, and he blew everyone out of the water.
He's
bro.
also a guy too. When you talk about not reading comments or listening to the outside, is remember Theo came off Road Rule, so that's how people knew him from MTV's Road Rule.
What is that?
Road Rule was it'd be like the Real World on MTV, Real World.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like that, but it was like a competition show. There was like two teams. It was a reality show, so he got big off that. So he was doing that, and then got off that show and started doing stand up. So they're like, oh, that's the guy from MTV. He's not funny. He's just this quirky kid. He's not funny. But then he kept working, didn't listen to the haters, kept working. And now most people don't even know Theo did the Road Rules show. They just know him as this
Right.
great comic.
That's
so
inspiring.
if he let people pigeonhole him into this, you're just a reality star guy, he'd never be Theo Von. So he
Yeah.
never listened to that. So he got all this hate when he first came out, selling tickets right away because he came from Road Rules, and then now he's this great comic.
Wow. That really worked out for him because, the one thing right away that I noticed watching him is he's so incredibly chill and grounded and so incredibly himself. Like, there's no one like him. You know what I mean? He's
There's
literally
only one
just
Theo
himself.
Von. There's
Yeah.
only one, yeah. And he's funny at all times. Like he's never missed my son's birthday, even though he lives in Nashville.
Which
So-
is today.
My son's birthday is today,
Tell
turned
him I said
7 today,
happy
so
birthday.
thank you. So he had his birthday party on Sunday. Theo's never missed his party. Theo shows up to the party, and Theo's funny no matter what. So there's all these moms there, and then one's like super attractive, and I go, she's single, dude. He goes, yeah, and then it's Theo 10.0, and then he's like, what's up, man? I'm like, we just talked. He's like, yeah, and he's like, I'm with him, and she's like, they don't know he's a comic, and she's like, what? And he goes, I'm not with him. I'm friends with his kids. I know the kids. I'm not like a pedophile or nothing. And they're like, what the fuck? And I was like, Theo, dude,
Cut it.
Tone it down, dude. Tone it down. They don't know who you are, bro. They think you're like, this is you, dude. So
Yeah.
he's great.
Wow.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best, man.
Is he is he trying to stay single right now, or is he focused on his career? What is he?
You never know. It's a battle with him. He has demons, man. So you never
Really?
know, Theo. I mean, it's just
I'm in comedy, I guess.
yeah.
Comes from
He's
dark
just
places.
he has no issue getting a lady. I'll put it that way.
How's your relationship with Joe Rogan? Like, is that
Brother from a much older Italian mother.
How'd you guys meet?
He was a commentator for the UFC. He moved to Denver when I was living in Denver, and then him and Brian were really close. Brian and Rogan have known each other for like 30 years, 35 years. So when I first moved to LA, we would go to dinners, and me and Rogan lived close to each other. So Brian, Rogan, some other guys, we'd always go to dinners, and I kept making him laugh. And then Rogan had me on his podcast, and I've been on his podcast over it's like 90 times now, the most.
You're the most
Wow.
Ever,
90 times.
Yeah, 90 times.
That's a huge compliment, bro.
Yeah,
Because
my
he's
brother,
not gonna
yeah.
put you on, and if you're even taking away a smidget, but you must be adding to be his number one guest.
Yeah, he's my boy. So then we would keep going to dinners, make him laugh, and then he was like, "You need to do stand up, man." And I was like, "Oh, say less." They didn't know that in my heart I always wanted to do it. And he's like, "Yeah, do stand up, get an act together. You're fucking funny, man." He's like, "I'm around professional, funny people all the time. You're funny." I was like, "You think?" He's like, "Yes, do fucking stand up." And then I just kept going.
You have a good friend group.
That's amazing.
Great supporting group.
It's awesome to see people that are very successful wanting to make other people successful. It's very weird because this industry does have a lot of people that are like, no, it's me, not you.
Rogan started that. So that's the culture I came up in. That's why I pay it forward, because Rogan started that with, You know, he'd bring Tom Segura. You look at the people he's brought on the road and made their careers, like Tom Segura opened up for Rogan, Joey Diaz,
Oh, wow.
Tony Hinchcliffe, monsters, dude. You know, so he would always put these guys on and have them on his shows, and he was like, "What's good for you is good for me," and he just built this supportive community, which in comedy it's never been done before.
Never.
Now that he left
Very
LA,
cutthroat
now he
industry.
left LA, it's back to the old days.
Really?
Oh, it's crab mentality now. Yeah.
No. That's great. And it's probably why he's so successful, because he's
Correct.
lifting everybody up around him, and so he's getting that
Correct.
blessing
And
back.
he's doing it in Austin. His club opens, I think, next week, and you know,
Wow.
he's gonna be doing the same thing out there.
So he does stand up still.
Rogan?
Yeah.
Oh, big time, dude. Yeah, like arenas. Yeah, he does
What
stand
a
up.
career, bro.
He does
What-
more stand up.
imagine.
He does
I mean,
more
what do you
stand up.
imagine?
He does more stand up than anybody you know. Like, name a comic. He does more spots than anybody you know.
Really?
He's in Austin. I mean, 5 nights a week if he's not on the road. Like, he constantly does stand up.
I mean, I would
Constantly.
love to go watch him live.
Monster. Yeah, go to Austin.
Does he have? He doesn't have a special though.
He has like 9 specials, dude.
Joe Rogan has 9
Yeah, he probably
specials.
has- I think he has 3 on Netflix right now.
When did he?
He's been doing stand up for 30 years, but
Wait, when was his last special though?
2 years ago, probably 3 years ago.
Okay.
Called Strange Times.
So I didn't watch anybody really until I started getting to stand up,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start like observing.
No, but you're not like a lot of people, like especially now. He got so big doing the podcast and like, you know, CNN going for him. So a lot of people are like, oh, he's just a podcaster. He's just a UFC analyst.
no, I just see
He's
him as
just-
Joe Rogan, bro. I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
has
yeah.
his own brand.
He's comic first. He's a comic through and through. Yeah, he's been doing it 30 plus
He
years.
also stood up for people like stealing jokes and like he
Oh,
like
yeah.
that clip, bro. When I watched that
the
clip,
Carlos Mencia one.
bro, that's a fucking powerful clip.
Yeah.
That is a powerful clip because, bro, he risked his career.
He got banned from the Comedy Store for that.
Had to have.
He
There's
did.
no-
No, he did.
And how
Especially
many-
that's Carlos Mencia back at the time, who was the big boy in town.
That's what I'm saying. People, when I watch that clip, I'm like, dude, that's like, I'm trying to think of a big comedian right now that's like
That'd be like going after Kevin Hart.
exactly getting on his stage too.
And all the comics being like, ooh.
but they all
not
felt what
siding
he
with-
felt, but they were
but they didn't speak up.
because they didn't have the balls that this fucking dude has. Like,
They're not cut from the same cloth as Rogan, though. You're talking about he's a martial artist, like legit tough guy. The rest of these guys are bitches.
oh my god, I forgot he does martial arts too,
Yeah,
bro.
Black
I thought
belt in
my
jiu-jitsu, like
God.
legit black belt.
Damn. I just can't even imagine standing up on stage and knowing that you're just telling somebody else's material, like you're just taking.
Now
and
imagine
you know,
you're
other
doing
people
that-
know.
Imagine you're doing that in the OR, which is super intimate, and then Joe Rogan gets on stage like, dude, you're stealing people's jokes.
Like stuff.
And
Good.
that
Good
guy's
for him.
famous as shit. That's why he's at where he's at, man.
That's wild.
But I love you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Get out.
It was nice
Get
being
out.
here.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but I really do appreciate you coming on.
Of
This-
course.
this is-
Anything you need, brother. You're a good person. So anything you need, I'm
Thank
here,
you,
man.
bro. I appreciate
However I
it.
can ever help you, let me know. You guys are gonna crush it, man.
Could we do like a little like wrestling thing where you teach me how to like do jujitsu or something?
If you want. You just want me to be the big spoon. I know. I see
Nice
what's
call.
He
going on.
wants a bear hug.
Yeah. Call back.
Thank you so much.
You got it, brother.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Do you want to? Is there any
When's
tours?
this come out?
This one comes out 2 weeks. Because
2 weeks. I'll be in Oklahoma City. I think it's like March 11th through the 14th. I'm in Oklahoma City at Brickstown Comedy Club. I'm in Tacoma and Spokane, Washington. Tickets at thickboy.com.
cool. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can just click in and get your tickets.
You're the best, brother.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank
guys.
you.